Hello and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and season fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome back to the show. I hope everybody's having a very nice week. Just wanted to start the show off with some positivity and some affirmations.
Yes.
We're all doing fine.
It has been very gloomy in LA these past couple days, and I feel like it's very difficult for me to feel peppy and energized when it's cloudy outside. So yeah, and especially because in LA when it gets cloudy, it doesn't usually rain, so you never get the release of the gloom. It just hangs over you. So yeah, good burst of positivity.
Good burst of positivity. So today's episode, the title might have caught your eye and you thought, that seems kind of random. What's that about? Sometimes this show is just us chasing a curiosity that comes out of nowhere. It happens sometimes. And to explain this time, last week when we got Ace in the random game, it was mentioned that Byungkwon had been on a season of a show called Kpop Star. And I knew that was a show and that a bunch of people had been on it and that it had multiple seasons, but I'd never really dug in. And so when I just Googled it out of curiosity, I saw that the first season came out about 10 years ago in December of 2011. So I thought, let's figure out what the deal with Kpop Star was and then check on the top 10 and see where they are now 10 years later.
Yeah, so we're really just going to go over the format of the show and then a look at the final contestants to see if there's anyone who maybe we would recognize today. And this is, I guess, kind of the start of a potential series or type of episode because like we were talking about with Ace, a bunch of them were on different shows, right? Like The Unit and whatever. I don't remember what else. But Mix 9. And there's so many different shows. We did our whole Producing a Scandal where we looked at the Produce 101 series. And I think that there's a lot of potential for us to take each one of these shows and kind of take a look at it. What was the structure of the show and who came out of it? Because there are so many things. We've come across Unpretty Rap Stars so many times. And there's a lot of these smaller shows that actually gave us a lot of solo artists whose names we are familiar with today. So it would be interesting to take a look at each sort of franchise and see what they gave us, how they contributed to the K-pop scene.
Yeah, especially because it doesn't seem like competition reality idol shows are going to go away anytime soon. Every time they debut one, everyone gets all up in arms. Not another competition show. These are edited deceptively. They're mean. We don't like them. And yet they keep coming out and they keep making them and people keep watching them. So I don't think they're going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, people love a competition show. How many years has American Idol been on the air? So many. And they just keep coming up with new ones now.
Yes. Oh my God. By the way, did you see? So wild. I saw a commercial the other day airing after the abomination that is the American Masked Singer. They now have this crazy AI motion capture show where the singers are backstage and then an elaborate hologram is on stage and the people have the dots on their face like Andy Serkis.
Why? What's the premise of the show?
To be the best singer if people can't see your face, The Voice. And one of the judges is Alanis Morissette.
What? Oh my God, she's sold out.
I couldn't believe it.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. Alanis Morissette was the last. I loved her.
Yeah, me too. When I saw the commercial, I said to Wade, I was like, if you had told 8-year-old me that someday Alanis Morissette would be on a cartoon singing judge show, I wouldn't have believed you. She was the edgiest, coolest girl in the whole world.
Yeah. I remember feeling betrayed when I learned that so much of Jagged Little Pill was about fucking Dave Coulier. Of all people, I was like, really? Uncle Joey? She lost so many cool points in my mind when I learned that, but anyway.
Kpop Star, we're going back in time 10 years in the past before anyone even thought to have computer singer shows. And the premise is very simple. Kpop Star aired on SBS And it was on from December 4th, 2011 to April 29th, 2012. And there were 22 episodes.
That's just the first season. There have been multiple
Yes.
seasons of the show.
So
But
this
we're
is
just looking at the first one.
season 1. And the judges for season 1 were JYP from JYP, Young Hyun Suk, or YG from YG, and Boa was there to represent SM because Lee Suman thought it would be nice to have a girl on the panel.
Sure.
But they were there representing the big three because in 2011, the big three was still absolutely, unequivocally the big three, right? So if you're going to have a show choosing K-pop stars, they have to be the ones picking, right?
Right.
So this was supposed to be like all K-pop. They wanted it to be a global audition process. So the preliminary auditions, which were July to October of 2011, they did online auditions where people could submit videos. And people came from China, the United States, Brazil, Europe. They had all kinds of auditioners from all over the world.
Yes, and I thought it was very interesting also that this is a co-ed competition. So it's not just for female idols or male idols like the Produce series is, which I guess
Right.
maybe that's why I expected it to just be one or the other, because that's the like K-pop competition show I'm most familiar with. But they're making groups, and here it was
Yeah.
more of soloists. So they did accept both female and male competitors.
Yeah, because it seems like the show is interesting because Korea's Got Talent like already existed, and I'm pretty sure that they tried a Korean Idol thing in the early 2000s as well.
Sure. Who didn't?
Who didn't? Everyone was doing those. So this is like kind of a blend of these, make your girl group shows that are very popular now. But it's like they're just trying to find the K-pop stars. Like,
Yeah.
just like look for one or two stars instead of trying to make a cohesive group. Which is
Right.
interesting.
They're only looking at individuals. And the winner would receive a cash prize of 300 million won, which is approximately $300,000, 2 brand new vehicles, and endless opportunity, part of which was the choice to sign with one of the big three. So
Yeah.
the winner at the end would get to choose, kind of like in The Voice where you choose your coach. The winner at the end gets to choose who they sign with of the big three.
So I tried to find out as much as I could about how this show worked. I couldn't find a single full episode anywhere on the internet. It's like all I wanted, but it seems like people didn't start archiving the K-pop Star until like K-pop Star season 3. Like it was really hard to find a lot of these videos and stuff. So
Well, and this is all from like 2011. So like think about the K-pop reality in general that we have access to from 2011. Like it's not much.
it's my 240p Kuntorias that are on a hard drive.
that are no longer available on the internet.
Exactly. So I tried to gather as much as I could about how the show worked, and it seemed to have a couple of rounds, and then in the subsequent seasons, they make it more complicated. But in the first season, the first round is just your talent audition episodes. You get everyone who was accepted from the online auditions doing their little bits in front of JYP, and JYP and YG are making faces, and like, it's the audition episodes that everyone loves. And then, but to get through, the people had to get 2 of the 3 judges to agree, like X Factor style or whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of the judges had a wild card golden ticket that they got to force someone through to the next round if they wanted
So even
to.
if they're the only one who likes that person, they could push them through with this wild card.
Yes. So then in the second round, the contestants who got through got to make a choice of who they wanted to have a contact audition with of the big 3 judges. And then after they did their contact auditions, the judges split them up into groups based on what they were best at. Like there was the singers, there were the piano players, the like dancers, and sort of grouped them. And then those groups were ranked and the bottom ones were eliminated.
But they weren't really evaluated until they got into the groups, right? Like choosing the mentor or whatever, and then like having this contact audition seemed like more of an opportunity for them to get some advice,
Yes,
right?
to
Of
just get like
I'm not really
FaceTime.
auditioning for you, but I'm getting like a one-on-one.
Right. Yes. I did find one clip of one of the very young girls that was in the top 10 doing hers like with JYP because she didn't really speak Korean at all. And so he was the only one who could like talk to her and she's like crying and he's being very encouraging. It was actually a very nice video.
Aw.
Anyway, these shows are rough on people though. They're hard.
There's a lot of tears that are shed.
Okay, so then the third round, this is the casting audition where now they have to pick a judge to like be with
Be on their team.
Be on their team for the next like 2 rounds. And so when they
Okay.
did that, they got to train at that company with the senior singers of that company for like 2 weeks while they were a part of Team JYP or whatever.
That's really, really cool.
Right? So that was like to improve. Everyone gets their 2 weeks to like improve skills with the pros. Mm-hmm. Then round 4 this was how they decided the top 10 that we're going to get to in a second. This was battle style where somebody from Team JYP was versus Team SM and only one of them got through to the next round, tournament style.
Right.
Harsh. But then that left us with the top 10. And then this is when like the main, I would say, part of the competition comes in where like the audience starts getting to vote and there's like the live singing studio audience whole mess of it all for the 5th
Yes.
round.
And each of those episodes, once we got into the 5th round, each one had a different mission. So, like I was going to say the girls, but the contestants, since it's both, the contestants had to choose and prepare a song that fit a particular prompt of some kind. And like part of it had to do with the fact that like they have this original like. They can also work with the like cover songs that they've already done like throughout the competition to get them to that point. Like there's certain parts where it's like your signature cover song or
Right.
something. So they had different each episode once you finally got to the top 10 and started continuing to eliminate people, they had a specific challenge each week.
Yes. So from here on out, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the top 10 in order of how they were eliminated, 10th place to first place, talk a little bit about what they did on the show, their last song, and then we'll do our Where Are They Now for what we could find, for the people we could find things about. All right. So in 10th place, the first of the top 10 eliminated was Lee Jung-mi, who was born in 1996, which made her 15 years old at the time of the show. And I wanted to note everybody's ages because a lot of them are very little.
Very young.
But the mission for the first week was My Story, and Jungmi sang Snail by a group called Panic.
언젠가 먼 훗날에 기억 속 어딘가 들리는 파도 소리 따라서.
And she was eliminated for this performance, which she did say in an interview I found that she was not proud of, that it was like weak and she was nervous. And so
she does sound very nervous in this performance. It was so interesting to watch clips of this show because, like we said, you can't find a full episode because it seemed like they just seem so much like kids pulled off the street.
They
you know
really
what I
do.
mean?
They look like kids. Like nobody has plastic surgery face or dyed hair or like they are
And they
kids.
all kind of have like their little chubby
Chubby
cheeks,
cheeks.
and they have their like, you know, regular like Old Navy plaid or whatever. Like they're not in cool clothes or anything like that. And it was just really interesting to see because I feel like when you watch something like the Produce series or like the Girls 99 or whatever, the
Right.
like newer shows where all of the idols that like we are fans of, they are now like mentors on these shows. I feel like the contestants look so much slicker.
Yes, they
now.
really
Like
do.
they don't necessarily look older, but they definitely look way more put together. And like maybe that's just a commentary on this younger generation today. They're like so much more put together than we were.
Yeah, in general, for
Their
sure.
age. But yeah, it was a very interesting like difference to see.
It is interesting. So Jungmi signed with YG after the show ended, and she was scheduled to debut in a girl group that YG was going to debut called the Sue Pearls. Now, earlier in Kpop Star, I think in episode 6, I linked it. Yes, in episode 6, they have like a group challenge. And so 4 girls call themselves the Sue Pearls, and they sang The Boys by Girls' Generation in this nice jazzy way.
2, 3, 4. Girls' generation make you feel the heat. 전 세계가 우릴 주목해. 위풍도 당당하지 뼛속부터 나 원래 멋졌어. Girls' generation make you feel the heat. 전 세계가 우릴 주목해. 위풍도 당당하지 뼛속부터 나 원래 멋졌어. Girls bring the boys out. Girls bring the boys out. Girls bring the boys out. Girls bring the boys out.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it
it's
was
so good.
It was kind of legendary for the show. Like people remembered it because it's like very powerful. So YG was going to debut that group, but we'll talk about it later. One of the girls in Sue Pearls chose another company at the end of the show. So he put a different girl in. And then YG decided that actually he only cared about that one girl debuting. So he canceled the group debut to focus on debuting one of them solo. So Jungmi left YG after that. And that's all the information I could find about her on the internet. That was it for Jungmi. So she probably went to college and got a real job or something. But that's all I got.
Maybe. We hope she's doing well wherever she is.
All right. So then that brings us to the 9th place. 9th place went to Kim Na-yoon, who was born in 1994 and was 17 years old at the time of Kpop Star competition. And for Mission 2, their song challenge was they had to sing a million-seller song. And Kim Na-yoon sang Set Fire to the Rain by Adele.
I set fire to the rain. Watch it pour as I touch your face.
Okay, so Kim Na-yoon was this was the one I saw crying with JYP, because she was born in San Francisco and her name is Tiffany Kim. Kim Na-yoon is the name they chose for her after this. She participated in the online audition, like put up a YouTube video, but had never actually sang in public before. She was like one of those people that like secretly sang in their bedroom or something. But so she got on this show and it was like very overwhelming for her. After Kpop Star, she signed with Starship and trained at Starship for a little while. Then she left Starship because she wanted to go to college. So she went to the US and went to Boston University for 2 years. And then she went back to Korea for personal reasons. And then, according to an interview I found from 2020, she was accepted at a company that she did not name and was like put in a 4-member girl group. And they filmed a music video and like had music ready. And then coronavirus hit. And she was told that the company didn't have any money anymore. So she went back to America and did an interview with K-Popalypse.
Yeah. Apocalypse.
That snarky blog. She did an interview with them and said at the end of the interview that she planned to go back to Korea as soon as it was safe to, quote, confront this company about her grievances with them. So that's where things stand for Tiffany Kim at the moment.
Yikes.
Yeah, but that interview is very, very long. She says a whole lot in it about all kinds of K-pop trainee stuff. But yeah, so I hope she gets her grievances settled and maybe gets to debut in a group someday. She's been at it 10 years.
Yeah, that is really too bad that she's been just like obstacle after obstacle. And now, like, oh man, now she has to confront her company. Like, geez, what does that even mean? Get a lawyer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Don't
that's what you
confront
should
them
do.
alone.
Tiffany, if you can hear this, don't do that.
Protect yourself. Get your money.
Okay. Yes. All right. So then that brings us to 8th place. And our 8th place contestant was a man named Baek Ji-woong. He was the oldest of the top 10. He was 1990, so he was 21 at the time of the show, which I think is the oldest of the top 10. And the mission for week 3 was My Idol's song. And he sang Study of Memories by Exhibition.
철없던 나의 모습이 얼만큼 의미가 될 순 있는지.
Yeah, this boy is just like a tall, skinny, nice boy with a nice voice. And so he, after Kpop Star, debuted as a ballad soloist in 2013. Like, declaratively, I saw an interview. Like, he discovered during Kpop Star that he could not and did not like to dance and just wanted to sing nice songs. So he debuted in 2013 with a song called I Miss You. And since then, he has released 11 singles and done 3 OST appearances. And his most recent single is called Just for Today, Only You.
그대만을 기다리고 있어요. 그대가 제일 좋아하던 음식 준비한 채로.
And it was released in March of 2021.
All right, so still very active, Baek
Still
Ji-woong.
doing it.
Singing your pretty songs.
Still doing
Good
it.
for you.
Okay, next. 7th place, week 4. Eliminated was Yoon Hyun Sang. This is another of the boys. He was 17 at the time, 1994 baby. And the mission for week 4 was a movie or drama OST was what they had to sing. And he sang Wind Blows from This Charming Girl.
이렇게 달라져 있다. 바람에 흩어져 버린 허무한 내 소원들을 애타게.
So yes, he was eliminated this week for this song, but after the show, he joined Kakao M Entertainment, which is IU's label, and IU featured on his debut album.
Oh, wow.
So we got to have that as well.
Nice.
His debut album is called Piano Forte, and it came out in 2014. Since then, he's released 4 solo mini albums. He's done 4 OST songs and 8 singles, including a very cute duet with my A-Pink bias Bomi that's called Let's Eat Together. That was out in 2015. And he also very recently released a single called Fallen.
기다려왔던 것만큼 내 맘속 깊이 falling, falling, falling in love you. 너도 괜찮다면
That came out in May of this year. And it's so like groovy, nice K-R&B coffee shop music.
Ooh, I love that. I mean, I always love to add to my coffee shop collection.
But yeah, this guy has a very nice voice. So I'm glad that he was also able to keep singing after this.
Yeah, and to sign with IU's label, that I feel like that's a good, like that makes me feel maybe a little better than like being
Right.
at some random tiny company we've never heard of who has no artists of record.
Sure.
So good luck, Yoon Hyun Sang.
Okay, next up, 6th place. This contestant was named Park Jae-hyung. He's born in 1992 and he was 19 years old at the time of competition. And the mission for week 5 was judges pick. And the song the judges picked for Park Jae-hyung was Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by Frankie Valli.
Oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you. Oh.
So this person, Park Jae-hyung, was born in Argentina and raised in Cerritos, California.
So close to here.
And he was attending Cal State Long Beach as a political science major and uploading YouTube videos to a channel called Yellow Post-it Man, and was offered a spot on Kpop Star. So he dropped out of college and moved to Korea. And on his Kpop Star season, he wore big, thick glasses and bow ties and like spiked his hair in the middle and was doing like, they were doing like a Buddy Holly Weezer sweater boy thing with him.
Sure.
After this person came to be known simply as Jay from Day 6 because he joined JYP after the show, and on September 7th, 2015, he debuted as the guitarist and singer for JYP's first instrument band, Day 6.
Congratulations,
Yay! It's Jay!
Our
Everybody
first
knows
very
him.
recognizable and successful name off this list.
Yes. So Day 6 have since debut released 4 full albums and 7 EPs. And Jay was one of the hosts of After School Club for 2 years from 2016 to 2018. He also is a fellow podcaster. He had a podcast on Eric Nam's Dive Network called How Did I Get Here? And it was on from February of 20 to this summer. It ended in June. He also has a YouTube channel that's called EAJ, which is his name backwards. And he also was doing Twitch for a while, but he had to stop doing Twitch because the Korean fans don't understand English slang and would get very angry and like misunderstand a lot of, so he was tired of apologizing and so he just quit doing Twitch.
Yeah, I feel
Poor
like I
Bob.
read about a couple of the different incidents or whatever this past year of people just getting like, you know, oh, it's a mistranslation, and then and then that mistranslation gets passed around, and then whatever, everybody's all up in arms over nothing, but he still has to apologize. So he
Yeah.
said, never mind,
I quit.
y'all can't be chill, so we're not gonna Twitch anymore.
Yeah. But anyway, that's Jay, our 6th place finisher and a person who we still know very well. And before we get into the top 5, we got to take a quick break. This episode of Ask Me About K-Pop is brought to you by Idol Gossip, a brand new YA novel written by Alexandra Lee Young. Idol Gossip tells the story of Alice Choi, a Chinese-American teenager with big dreams of being a singer. But when Alice is accepted at one of the biggest K-pop labels in South Korea, she finds that maybe she should have listened to this podcast because she doesn't know anything about what she's gotten herself into. Can Alice overcome the harsh world of trainee life and the intense eye of a notorious gossip blogger to debut with her group at the Dream concert? We love this book and can't wait for all of you to read it with us, so pick up your copy now. Idol Gossip is published by Walker Books US and is available now wherever books are sold. All right, we're back and we're ready to dig in to the top 5 contestants from the first season of Kpop Star. And where are they now? 5th place. This 5th place went to a woman named Lee Michelle, who at the time was only 20 years old because she is a 1991 as well. And mission 6 for week 6 was viewer requested songs. And Michelle sang a song called You Just by Soul City.
유난히 밝은 밤이면 너무나 아픈 밤이면
And yeah, Michelle's story is interesting. She was born in Paju, South Korea, to a Korean mother and a Black American father. But her father was not in her life at all. So she was raised solely in Korea by her Korean mother, and she only speaks Korean. But she doesn't quite look Korean, quote unquote. So she, experienced a lot of adversity growing up because of it. But she also was an excellent fucking singer. So she ended up on this show.
Oh, such a good singer. Her voice is huge.
She was one of the girls that was in that Sue Pearls that sang the boys earlier in the clip I played. So she also didn't get to debut when that group was canceled.
Yes. So she got a chance to originally sign with YG, but that was a very short-lived contract.
But she did find shortly after another company called Dima Entertainment to sign with. And so the following year in 2014, she was able to debut as a soloist with Dima Entertainment with a song called Without You.
같은 걸 I'm beautiful without you I'm meaningful without you 난 그래도 아름다워 너에게 사랑받지 못해
And the music video for Without You is very explicitly about her childhood growing up Black in Korea and how she was treated. It's a very long, very poignant music video. But that was the focus as she was getting her story out for her debut song.
Yeah, I actually think I remember when she released this because we were already listening to K-pop, and I remember I must not have heard it right away, obviously, because I wasn't as tuned in to the scene. But I know that I found this at some point, because I remember because she was getting attention for being a Black idol, who also was native Korean, as opposed to some of the other Black idols we've seen, like Alex Reed or the woman who replaced
Black
Alex
Swan.
in Black Swan. I don't remember her name, but yeah, I remember that this got a bit of attention because of her kind of unique experience. But I wish that it had gotten more attention, because she's such a talented singer, and I feel like she makes good R&B, and it's too bad that she's not a more well-known name than she is right now.
For sure. But I guess, as I think happens a lot with idol variety competition shows, once you pop, you just can't stop, because she, in 2016, participated in a show called Tribe of Hip Hop, the second season of that show. And she passed and was put on Juhan's team, because Juhani from Monsta X was one of the coach, mentor, judges, whatever, on Tribe of Hip Hop. So she did that. I also checked her Melon, and she released 3 other singles after Without You, and she has 11 OST appearances, including the Pokemon Sun and Moon soundtrack.
Nice.
Get that Pokemon money.
Yeah.
And she also released a single this summer called Don't Fuck With You.
Ooh, I love it.
But the interesting thing, or the thing I couldn't find was, I don't know, maybe you could find it, but on Melon, it says Don't Fuck With You, and the cover art says Don't Fuck With You, whatever. When I looked her up on Spotify, it's the exact same cover art, but it says Don't Want You or Don't Mess With You or something. And she never says fuck in the song. So I don't know if they just put a sassier cover on it for Korea or something, or I don't know, but...
Or maybe they
Spotify
had
didn't have the fuck version.
Oh, that's so interesting. I wonder why that is. How weird. A mystery. Yeah. Another K-pop mystery.
But again, I was happy to see the third person on here that maybe isn't as well known as Jay, but is still releasing music 10 years later. That's cool. All right. Next up, 4th place of the first season went to Lee Sung-hoon, a 1992 liner who was 19 years old at the time of competition. The mission for week 7 was results of the final 3 trainings. Don't know what that means. But he performed a self-written rap called The Show Must Go On.
한 단계 올라갈수록 내 평판은 더 나빠 올라가지도 내려가지도 못해 억지로 마시는 소주처럼 독해 젠장 일부러 너무 괴로워.
And it's like very intense. He had like dancers with like guns. It's like a whole interpretive dance rap moment. And JYP is super into it, but he went home that week.
Maybe it was like, maybe they had to write a song about that was like inspired by the results of the 3 final trainings or something of like a, I don't know, like a composition. No, he's the only one who did
the other
right?
contestants did Kim Bum-soo, Beyonce, and Yoon Mi-rae.
Huh.
He was the only person who like, so he was getting extra credit. He tried to get extra credit points and write his own.
And instead he got sent home.
And he got sent home. But
Womp womp.
Sunghoon is from Busan, and he had actually already gone on Korea's Got Talent, like auditioned for that as a dancer. So this was his second go round with a reality competition show. And he signed with YG after Kpop Star. Then, in February 2013, Sunghoon, along with all the other boys at YG, participated in a show called Win: Who's Next? And was placed on Team A. And as we know from this show, Team A won Win: Who's Next and became winner.
Woo! So our second major debut, both of the boys who made it into the top 10 have a significant, well, I guess there were 3 boys in the top 10, but, or maybe 4.
Four.
Four.
We've got 4 boys so far in the top 10, and 2 of them
And 2
are
of them
in, like,
are in bands
big
that are still
groups.
kicking around.
Yeah. So since debut, Winner has released 4 studio albums, 3 EPs, and 3 single albums. And Sunghoon himself has 46 writing credits.
Wow.
For his solo music Winner, and he wrote a song for Sekshkis. He wrote one of their like 2017 comeback songs.
Cool.
And Sunghoon enlisted last April, so he'll probably be home from the military soon. And that's where we leave off with him. All right, moving into 3rd place. And from what I could gather from like the scores and watching these performances, that this like these top 3 girls, that they really were like
So
struggling
close.
to pick them. Like they were
The
equal.
margins were so small. It was like at one point there, well, we'll talk about it. But yeah, it was stiff competition.
So the 3rd place contestant is Baekhyun. And she's a 1993 liner, so she was 18 at the time of the show. And the mission for week 8 was free song choice. And she chose a song called I Made a Mistake by 2 a.m. She played her own piano for this. She played her own piano for like most rounds. That was like her extra
thing.
step of impressiveness. But Baekhyun is, since this, a OST queen. Like if you haven't seen her name in your player before, you're not listening to the right drama OSTs. But she signed with JYP after and released her first solo album in 2012. And since then, she has appeared on the soundtrack for 17 Korean dramas, including one of my all-time favorites called You Are My Destiny. She sang multiple songs on that. She was the voice of that drama.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I love her. She's released 5 full EPs and has featured on a ton of other K-pop idol and rappers' albums. Like, she's just one of those girls that sings. And she literally released a single called 0% like 3 weeks ago.
Amazing. So
there you
still
go.
kicking, staying very busy. Amazing. All right, so that takes us now to our top two. And like Shannon just said, the margin was very, very, very small between these two. Like, so the final mission actually had 2 rounds. The first one was a free song choice, and the second one was where the final 2 had to sing each other's signature cover. So a song that they had sort of made a name for themselves with, then they had to switch. And the voting in between, like for the free song choice between the sing each other's covers, like a point of a difference. Like it was
Wow.
like 100, 97, 98, and then like 100, 96, 97 or something. So it was
Damn.
like all together like 1 point of a difference. It was crazy. So close. But coming in second place, we have Lee Hai-yi, who during the competition was 15 years old. She is a 96 liner. And her final song for the second mission, which was singing each other's cover, was Rollin' in the Deep by Adele.
Rolling in the deep.
And Lee Hai-yi is from Bucheon, South Korea, and she signed to YG after coming in second by the slimmest margin. Like I said, it was a total of 3 points altogether. Before her debut, she featured on her label mate Epic High's song I'm Cold, and she originally replaced another contestant, Park Jimin, in the group Sue Pearls. So like you mentioned earlier, Sue Pearls was this group that had 4 of the contestants from Kpop Star. One of the girls in Sue Pearls on the show did not sign with YG afterwards. So he replaced her with Lee Hai, and Sue Pearls had plans to debut. But then Lee Hai debuted as a soloist on October 28th, 2012 as Lee Hai with the single 1, 2, 3, 4.
I said a 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Ooh, she got it.
And the group was shortly disbanded after that because Lee Hai's debut has been repeatedly described as monstrous. 1, 2, 3, 4 was incredibly popular. Her debut single reached #1 in the very first week of sales. She got her first music show win on November 8th on M Countdown in just the second week of promos. And her single sold over 5 million digital copies. So she was so popular immediately as a debut that YG decided instead to focus on her debut instead of debuting Sue Pearls, which was a huge disappointment to a lot of fans, especially from the show, because Sue Pearls, after that cover of Bring the Boys Out, or The Boys, they got a lot of attention because this would have been the first girl group YG debuted since To Anyone. And so a lot of people were really waiting for it. And then not only were they just like unceremoniously disbanded, but the other 3 girls, a representative stated, quote, "We have decided to nullify our contracts with Lee Michelle, Lee Jungmi, and Lee Songjun without any terms. They concluded that it would be best for each other if they just break up, so the decision was inevitable." So they dropped them all and decided to just focus on Lee Hai instead. And she has stated in the time since then saying, "We worked together for 5 to 6 months, but since it all ended, I am very saddened." So she said, "We might have been different from the old Sue Pearls, but if we did debut together, we definitely would have heard that this team is really fantastic," because all 4 of them were vocal powerhouses. So she did express regret that they didn't get even a fighting chance.
Yeah.
But as a soloist, she stayed with YG until her contract expired in 2019. And then she signed with AOMG in July of 2020. So that is the company that she's still currently under.
That's Jay Park's label for
Yes.
reference.
Yes, it is. While she was still while she was still, I almost said J Park, while she was still with YG, she actually participated in 2 subunits as well. So in December of 2013, she debuted as a part of Bomb and High with Park Bom from 2NE1, and they put out a cover of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. And then the next year, in November of 2014, she debuted as Hae Soo-hyun with Akmu's Lee Soo-hyun, and they released a single called I'm Different, which featured iKON's Bobby. She also, under YG, was able to do a Japanese debut. She released an album and went on tour in 2018. And to date, she has released 4 albums, 1 EP, 12 singles, 19 features and collaborations, 4 OSTs. And her most recent release came out this month, September 2021. She put out an album, and the lead single is called Red Lipstick, which features Yoonmi.
마음을 흔들어봐 빨간 립스틱 진하게 바르고 So dance 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 keep on dance 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 keep on 빨간 립스틱
Submission for potential disco playlist Red Lipstick. It might veer too far on the funk side, but also I think a case could be made.
Okay, I will listen, and I'll have my checklist ready to go. She has overall in her career to this day won 7 awards, including a Best New Artist and Song of the Year, and been nominated 19 times. So this is really just like a quick overview of Lehigh. Her name is one that you are most probably familiar with. She has a beautiful voice, and she sings a lot of really, really, really pretty ballads. I think I first heard of her because I knew that Jong wrote a lot of songs for her.
Yeah, he wrote Breathe for her and
Yes. I knew that they were friends.
Yeah.
So she is definitely a name you may be familiar with and has a very successful career so far. So we will see a lot from her, hopefully continuing on in the future, and maybe potentially a deep dive someday.
Yeah, I saw she was in the news last week because when her album came out, her new album, there's a song on it that features B.I. from iKON, who's like one of her like friends. But the album came out the day of B.I.'s trial. And so she had tweeted some things about the album and was like, I love my friend B.I. Thanks for featuring on my album. And then everyone was like mad at her for supporting him on his court day. Or I don't know. Like, I thought it was nice. You should be nice to your friends on their weed trial days. You should be nice to them.
Poor B.I. Yeah. Good for her for
for
giving
her,
him
though.
a shout out.
Yeah, I thought that
You
was
should
nice.
support your friends on their trumped up charges. All right. So that brings us now to our first place winner, a Miss Park Jimin. She was, I believe, the youngest competitor.
At least of the
definitely
10.
the youngest of the top 10. She was only 14 during the competition. She was born in 1997. And her final song for Mission 9.2 Sing Each Other's cover was Mercy by Duffy.
I said release me now you think that I will be something
So Jimin was born in Korea. She was born in Daejeon, but she lived in Thailand for 8 years, where she attended an international school and was given the name Jamie. She speaks 3 languages. She's fluent in Korean and English, and she speaks basic Thai. And she went to the same school in Korea, the same performing arts school as Baek Yerin and GOT7's Yugyeom. And I found a memorable show moment where Park Jimin was singing a song called You Raise Me Up. And while singing it, she got a bit emotional. And so like toward the end of the song, she got a little bit pitchy because she was teary. And Boa like broke down in tears when it was her turn to give her like criticism. Boa immediately started crying because she said, she was like, you're 14, right? And And Jimin was like, yes. And she said, when I was 14, and she like immediately started crying. And she was like, when I was 14, I went to Japan all by myself. And like people used to tell me I used to hate these words like because you're boa. And like it was like, oh, but you're having a hard time, but you can do it because you're boa. Like you're tired, but you can do it because you're boa. And I came to really hate these words. And like you are such a good singer that I think you're gonna hear that a lot of like because you're Park Jimin, like you can do it. And like you were, and so she was just like giving her like a very beautiful like personal advice about like persevering and like keeping her head up. And then she was like, because you were crying, like your voice was a little pitchy, so I'm gonna give you, so like I do have to reduce your score a little. And she gave her 99 out of 100 points.
Yeah,
So that was a very emotional moment. You can find it on YouTube, and it made me cry because Boa cries so hard.
oh no. Yeah, Boa seemed to like her because the clip that I found, because like you said, this last round was they had to sing each other's signature song. So I found the clip of Jamie singing Rolling in the Deep on episode 4. And it's like her silent audition in this like empty room with just her and the big three. And when she gets up to the "you could have had it all," Boa goes woo, and then she like has to stop herself, but she like gets a woo out of Boa in the middle of her audition. So
I love it. Boa was such a fun judge to watch after the she fucking loved Sue Pearls, like that boys cover. She was like loving it, and as soon as they finished, she was just like yes. It was great. All right. So just a memorable show moment from Park Jimin. As the winner, she got to choose who to sign with. So she chose JYP, and she also received a brand new Hyundai and 300 million won. She was cast in a drama, and she had the opportunity to sign a contract as a CF model. Under JYP, she first debuted in a duo called 15 and with her label mate Baek Yerin on October 5th, 2012 with the single I Dream. Their name, 15 and, refers to the fact that both of them were 15 at the time of their debut, and the and was meant to look toward the future, right? 15 and
then what?
What else, right? Exactly. Together as a duo, they released one studio album and 5 singles from 2012 to 2015. But then in 2015, they went on an unofficial 4-year hiatus until they eventually disbanded in 2019 and quietly disbanded in 2019. And it seems like their unofficial hiatus lines up with her solo debut. She debuted as a soloist under JYP as Park Jimin with the single Hopeless Love on April 5th, 2015. She stayed with JYP until her contract expired in 2019, which is when 15 and just like quietly disbanded. There was no real official announcement or anything, but since she left the company, it's over. And then she signed with Warner Music Korea and re-debuted as Jamie. So now she is known as Jamie, and she is currently one of the hosts of After School Club. She's been hosting that show since 2014. That's something she started doing while she was under JYP, and she continues to be a soloist as well. Overall, to date, she's released 2 EPs, both of which are self-composed, 8 singles, 12 features and collaborations, 16 OSTs, and her most recent single came out in September this month, 2021, and it is called No Numbers. But one thing that I found that was really interesting, like a cool project of hers, is called MOLA, which stands for Make Our Life Awesome. And this is actually something, she's still a part of this today, although it's not a super active project because all the members of it are doing a bunch of different things. But this is a music collective. So it is like a crew or something of different idols and producers who get together to just kind of make music for fun. They produce it themselves and they put it out on their own YouTube channel, which is called MOLA, M-O-L-A. And they also have a SoundCloud as well. And on August 15th, 2015, Jamie teased the sort of quote unquote debut of this collective by posting on Instagram a clip of her powerful vocals and then somebody rapping. And she captioned it with something that implied that there were two people involved in the project, and that whatever it was going to be would be released on SoundCloud and YouTube. And just a few days later, she put out a single called My Way with Cho Sung-hyun and a rapper producer Nathan. Cho Sung-hyun is Woods.
Woods. It's always
Of Woods and of Unique. Yes, it's always Woods. He pops up out of the woodwork, man. He always is popping up, and I always forget his given name. So I was like, ooh, a member of Unique. And I thought it was the hot one whose name is Songju. But because I always forget Woods' name. And then I looked it up and I was like, God damn it, it's not the hot one, it's Woods.
Always Woods.
It's always Woods. So Woods and this rapper slash producer, I think he's more known as a producer nowadays, but he actually was a contestant on Kpop Star season 3. His name is Nathan. So the three of them, they are the founding members of Mola, and they put out 2 singles in that first year. They put out a song called My Way on August 20th, and then a few months later on October 31st, they put out a song called Trick or Treat. But this, like I said, is still a collective that they continue to get together and put music or make music together just for fun. And their newest members are 17's Vernon, Pentagon's Kino, and a guitarist named Ho Ho. And the 5 of them released a song called Chillin', parentheses, 5 Mola's version. In August of 2017. And it's actually a pretty fun song because Jimin is a phenomenal singer, and she does rap a little bit sometimes on their tracks, but for the most part, she is the female voice that holds down the chorus for the boys to rap in the verses. But their songs are fun. I like it. And it's just a cool project. I think it's really neat that, because we see a lot of, obviously we always talk about when idols can have a hand in their music, and we always like to bring that up, especially during our deep dives and stuff. And she started self-composing for herself in 2016, so just a year after her debut. So it's really neat that she and these other artists who are not label mates.
Yeah, they're all from different companies, which is an extra neat part of it, I think.
Yeah, but that they have the opportunity. They not only had the opportunity and the motivation to do this, they wanted to do it, so they just did. But they also have the space and time from their companies to be able to put their own music out. I almost feel like my initial instinct would be, is this not a conflict of interest or some kind of contract violation or something? But I think because they don't make money off of the music, they just make it themselves and put it out, that they probably can, it's a loophole or whatever. But I just think it's interesting that they're even allowed to do it when it isn't affiliated with any of the companies that they're a part of.
Yeah, that is interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know of any other groups that, or any other collectives like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, everything I'm thinking of is I can think of idols who have SoundClouds.
Yes,
and
maybe
put out
they
their
get together
extra
and do
music.
fun stuff.
Sure,
but to be an official crew,
yeah, no, that's very fun.
yeah, very interesting.
Love that. Well, that's our top 10 from the first season of Kpop Star that aired 10 years ago and where they are now. And the vast majority of them are still being singers. So, hey, good track record, Kpop Star.
Yeah, still being singers, and the top 2 in particular are pretty recognizable names. So I am very interested to take a look at some of the other seasons of Kpop Star and see who else has gotten their start in this exact same way.
Yeah, it was nice. And it felt like a nice extra little bit of kismet to be yeah, no, this is a good thing to do for our episode. Because like I said, I was just chasing a weird curiosity, and 10 years seemed nice. But the fact that both Lehigh and Jamie have put out singles in the past couple of weeks.
Yes,
this
month.
is current.
They both put it out this month. So relevant as fuck.
Relevant. No, the top 3, because even Becca Young has the 0%.
right.
The top
You're right.
3 have put out
top
singles
3.
this month.
We're so timely.
I know,
We're
right?
always on top of things. We
Always.
love to plan things so far ahead.
Right? We're just killing it always. All right, we'll be right back with a random game. All right, we are back. And this week, the random number generator gave us a boy group from 2012 called Big Star.
Yes, often written as all one word in all caps. This is a 5-member boy group signed to Brave Entertainment. This is the Brave Brothers company. And they debuted with the single Big Start on July 12th, 2012.
Yeah, there's not a ton of information about Big Star that we could find because only one of their members seemed to
Make
get
a
any
name
attention.
for himself of any way.
But we did see that according to Wikipedia, Big Star was the first Korean idol group to hold 100 concerts in Japan.
Wow.
And that's
a pretty cool
so
record to
many.
have. Yeah, also that's so many. Like for a group that we know nothing about, like why are you holding so many concerts in Japan? But the sort of biggest news item surrounding Big Star is that on June 27th in 2017, Brave Entertainment confirmed that Bora of Sistar was dating a member of Big Star named Field Dog, all one word. And they had apparently been officially dating for about 6 months after meeting each other on Hit the Stage. And that same year, so Field Dog, I guess, made the rounds as far as these like different idol competition shows go, because he and the rest of Big Star all appeared on the KBS survival show The Unit, which we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Because of Chan. Chan and June were both on The Unit, but only Chan made it into the UNB. And in this case, only Field Dog made it all the way to the end. He came in 4th place on The Unit, and so was a member and the leader of the group UNB. But the group Big Star unfortunately disbanded in July 2019 when all of the members' contracts expired and they did not renew them.
Bora and Field Dog broke up in 2019 too, so it's
Oh
just
no,
a rough year.
Field Dog, so many major things ending. So sad.
They were together for 2 years though, so you know.
They had their time.
They had their time. Well, their most popular music video on YouTube is for a single, let me count when it came in. Their 4th single from 2013. It's called Run and Run, and it has 1.8 million views, and it's their most popular video. And we're going to check it out.
And overall, they released 3 EPs and 7 singles.
Yeah. So I have no idea. My guess is that this is going to sound like Big Bang or something, but maybe not, because I feel like Brave Brothers writes groovy. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't
what to
know.
think.
We will see. We will see what they do. I feel like any group that has a member named Field Dog in it is probably going to give us hip hop vibes.
Right.
But that is just an assumption based solely on his name and on the like very goofy photo that is on their Wikipedia.
All right. Well, let's check out Run and Run by Big Star. If you'd like to watch along with us, press play when I say go. 3, 2, 1, go. Smoke.
Okay.
Oh, these boys had a party.
Well, one of the boys seems to be like running from perhaps crime, and the other boys are asleep after a party. Definitely hungover. Oh, are we cursing?
Yes. Oh my God, he crashed his Hummer through a wall.
He crashed his car through a wall. Oh my.
Someone's wearing a hat that just says fuck in gold. Oh no, it says yuck.
It says yuck. It says yuck. Okay, all of these boys are wearing like very goofy outfits.
Okay, this is much more Block B than it is Big Bang.
It is, and it's very fun. It's super brightly colored.
The dance is a little like goofy.
Yeah. And we're kind of just going back and forth between the like party house and the like dingy, I don't know, alleyway, and then this like box set. Oh, abs.
They flashed their stomachs at us.
They all did. This has a very fun sense of humor to it.
Yeah. And it's a way more singing than, like, I don't know, I was expecting something harder or more hip-hoppy. And, like, they're singing and it's a little groovy fun.
Yeah, no, it's totally melodic in a way that I didn't really expect it to be. And the dancing is cute without being, like, super elaborate. I have the captions turned on, and the lyrics are about meeting a girl at a party.
Okay. And there's girls at this party in their
There are
house,
girls at this
so-
party. Oh, no, don't drill into the wall. She's leaning on it. Is this a...
Is that a naughty joke?
Yeah, well, I can't think of the word.
Because
I
he was
almost
like,
said
euphemism.
Innuendo. It is euphemism.
Innuendo. Because he's drilling the wall and it's shaking,
And then on
she's
the
like,
other side,
"Ooh."
she's like vibrating on the
Yeah,
other
I
side,
think that's
like when
def-
he's drilling on it. That seems naughty.
Oh, a singing in the rain bathroom. He's walking
I
on the
love-
ceiling.
Oh,
These shirt
okay.
liftings.
That shirt does say "fuck" on it. That shirt says "fuck" on it. On the bottom.
Oh, fun. Yes, it does.
See?
Yes, it does.
But I think it's FUKK.
And now they're dancing in dust and throwing color around.
Yeah. Oh, the Psy move.
Yeah.
This sounds like that part of the Eminem song.
Oh, yes, I know. Na 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 na
Yeah.
na
Na
na.
na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Without me. That's that song.
Yes.
This is very fun.
It is very fun, and the blonde one is hot.
And this
I wonder
came
if
out
that's
like
Field
3
Dog.
weeks after I discovered K-pop. Like, I'm just
Wow.
saying.
Big Star.
Big Star.
Well, that was very, very fun.
That
Big
was
Star.
fun.
I enjoyed that far more than I thought I was going to. That's for sure.
Absolutely. All right, weekly recommendation time.
Recommendations. I have watched a total of 2 new things.
Ooh,
They are
very
Itzy,
exciting.
And they are Key. And that is it.
That's all you got?
Itzy and Key, and I like them both. I was like very, very, very happy with this new Itzy song. It's called Loco, and I wasn't a huge fan of their last one, Mafia. I liked that they like went for the darker concept. I thought it was fun, but the song just didn't really do it for me. And something about Loco like really gets me. I don't know what it is about it, but when I watched their like first stage or like the performance version, when I watched the first stage where you could see all of their choreo, I like got emotional while I was watching it in a way that I can only describe as like needing a moment for my middle school self to like mourn the fact that she had to grow up without this. Because she would have fucking loved it. She really would have loved it. There's like a heavier guitar in this song that there like hasn't really been in the previous Itzy songs. Mm-hmm. It's like a slightly different sound. And I would argue that it's maybe like the tamest of the Itzy songs. It's like definitely like the most like quote unquote normal, like
Like it doesn't have
palatable
cheerleader
song.
screaming in it.
It
like
doesn't
that?
have cheerlead. Well, maybe it does, but
Less.
it is certainly. It's like, you know, the kind of what is the aspect? I mean, I almost want to call it like an NCT vibe of Itzy, where you like there can be a little bit unpredictable, and like sometimes things in their songs are just like loud, or like they're making music out of things that aren't music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is, I think, a much more like, it's just like it has the like driving guitar and the like steady beat that kind of like pulls it through the whole song. And it doesn't have any real like Frankenstein moments. It has like one major breakdown. But I thought it was really fun. And they're promoting a B-side with it, which is called Swipe. And I thought that one was also really, really fun, even though I think it's hilarious because there's no freaking way that the Itzies are swiping through like Tinder or something. Like, no, that's not happening. But I that one is fun too. Like the choreo is really cute. I think that it's like they are definitely going for a more like grown aesthetic and like grown attitude. Like they're kind of being sexy in this comeback in a way that I think maybe they started to be the Mafia one. But yeah, it's really fun. I am like very much enjoying this Itzy comeback so far.
I very need to catch up on it. The only thing I've seen about that swipe, like the only thing I've seen about it is that there's a fraction of netizens or somebody that thinks that an Itzy is dating a stray kid, an ATEEZ. I don't know. Something. One of those boy groups that I literally mixed together in my head. I'm so sorry. I can't tell them apart. But it's one of those, a Stray Kids or an ATEEZ. People think an ITZY is dating one of them, because when they were doing their own music video commentary video, there's a part where like they try to call a boy and he doesn't pick up or something. And one of them was like, didn't pick up because he's playing video games, like so relatable. And then everyone was like, that one stray kid always plays video or something. So they were trying to use it as proof for their theories. That's all I've
Sure,
seen.
because there's probably only one boy in Korea who
doesn't pick up his phone when he plays video games. There couldn't possibly be others.
Definitely not. Actually, I just realized, though, when you brought up Stray Kids and ATEEZ, first of all, I finally learned how to tell them apart. Woohoo! Mostly because I learned an ATEEZ, and his name is Songhwa. And their newer song, Deja Vu, I also really enjoy. I really, really, really like that song. And I could not even name for you another ATEEZ song, but this Deja Vu one is fun. It's like sexy and groovy, and the choreo is really sexy too. It's like a lot of hip wiggles. And
We definitely
I'm enjoying it. It is not loud at all.
We definitely got a voicemail the day that ATEEZ came out, and it's a very voicemail. Yeah.
It's a very sexy song. It's
Yeah.
a very sexy song.
Looks
And I don't
like
know
it.
anything about ATEEZ, but like it seemed to me the first like super overt, like sexy vibe. And I like that they're going for like Songhwa in particular has a lot of like more feminine styling. And kind of in the same way that like Taeyang did in SF9's Teardrop. He's not going quite so bold with his crop tops, but he is wearing a lot of like lacy things and like nice silhouettes. So they're definitely going for a sexy vibe. I don't know if this is the first time that they've done it, but it struck me as that kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
I saw a Tumblr GIF set. The only ATEEZs that I know, there's one named San or San. I think it's probably San that has like very sharp face. They also have a Woo Young that also has a very sharp face.
Which I have always very much disapproved of, based solely on the fact that I love 2 p.m. Woo Young.
Right.
But Woo Young is the one ATEEZ that our friend Jenna knows, and she sent us his face, and wow, does he have a nice face? He is hot.
Yeah, for sure.
He is
good
very,
faces.
very hot.
But I saw a Tumblr GIF set that was an ATEEZ who I guess for the very sexual point move of the song is moving his coat. So you make sure that like it was a GIF set of him moving his coat so that his crotch is full free for his naughty dancing.
I mean, you're not going to put in a repeated booty roll, hip roll, and then cover it with a coat, right? Like, this is why the girls in Easy, WJs and the Black, also pull
Do
their
the coat
coats to
flick.
the side for the butt move, because the butt move is the move.
Yeah, totally. I get it. I get it. But Key, we mentioned Key. Can we please talk about Key's second solo album, Bad Love?
Yes, we can.
It's so good, guys.
It's so good. And I have to tell you, I read this article. Well, I haven't finished the whole thing, but I pulled it up and I started reading it. But I read this article. I think I still have it pulled up. Let me see. Oh, I have so many tabs open on my phone. Okay, it is on nme.com, and it's an interview with Shiny's Key on his new solo mini album. And he says, quote, "I finally became me." And the interview is really, really nice. It talks about his like creative conversation. Excuse me, it talks about his creative conversation. It talks about his creative process. And the conversation is about his creative process. And he talks a lot about how this is like the album version of Key. And he said when he got to do his first one in Face, he got to make a lot of his own choices, but the choices were presented to him. And this was the first solo project that he got to come up with the ideas himself. So like all of the concept and all of the like songs, like he was really the driving, deciding creative force in it, which is very cool because the article points out, and I totally agree, like when you see it, you know, it's like of course it's a futuristic like space concept, like of course it's a Barbarella thing, like of course it's this sort of like the like musical style, but only Key could pull this kind of concept off.
Right.
Like, yes, of course it is this concept because it's so like trendy right now, I think, this like retro future vibe, but who could do it other than Key?
But I also disagree because I don't think it's retro future. I think it's retro, period, retro. Like, at least the
But it's retro
styling.
future because it's sci-fi. Like, it's a Barbarella of like space travel,
Yeah, but like,
you know?
retro, like that kind of like Star Trek in the 60s, like it's still sci-fi, but like it's very 60s in the way that it looks and the like toy blaster packaging of the album and like
Sure, yes. I do love that because that was one of his big like inspirational factors was like the
those very pulpy like posters and like the kids' toys from like that
well, specifically the
era.
action figures that he used to collect. Yeah, he said that was like a bit, he wanted to sort of capture that like magic. So the album packaging is like, it even had like the cardboard like thing of an action figure. And then with like the CD on the plastic side, it's very cute.
It's very neat, and he said that he's been wanting to do this very specific Luke for like a decade and has been like waiting for the moment that he would get his like full creative control to execute it the way that he wanted to.
Yes.
So that's what I think that's neat. Like, I guess I just wanted to jump because I know that it is trendy, but I'm trying to say that he wanted to do it before it was trendy because he's he's always ahead. But the music itself is definitely very trendy. And it's like retro future 80s synth, super pop, hyper pop, or whatever they call it. I love it. It's a great little EP.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, like the whole thing, there's no skips from start to finish. According to this article, he's had this plan. He's wanted to make Bad Love for 14 years.
There it is.
14 years. So the idea has been gestating for years inside his head. So when the time and chance came by, he knew exactly how to bring it to life. The song is really, the whole soundtrack or blah, 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 the whole EP is really, really good. The last song in particular, he says it's called 18 parentheses end of my world. And he says that it's a letter to his 18-year-old self about, the troubles that he will go through. And the chorus is like very beautiful. This idea of like, I won't see the end of my world with you. And like, I want to see the end of my world with you. But it's kind of about like growing up and
wanting to take those pieces of your younger self with you also like growing and being a different version and forgiving a past version of yourself for being young and not knowing everything. And it's so good. It makes me feel all the things. It's so beautiful.
It's so good, and like every single song is so great. There's 2 songs on it that have like a kind of motif of like breathing. Both
Yes.
Yellow Tape and Helium talk about like either I can't breathe when I'm with you, or you're the reason I can't breathe. I love Helium. It has such a like weird chorus to it that's kind of like out of tune and like low and dark, and it's just like so weird and good. And you were pointing out the lyrics in Saturday Night.
in the chorus of Saturday Night, it just gives me a little like tee-hee giggle every single time I listen to it, which at this point has been like 47 times because I've just been looping this album for 2 days. But in the chorus, he says, "Hey Zachary, play that song," and "Hey Stacy, give me something." And I just think that's like, those are such specific like 90s TV show names. Like, I don't know where he pulled them from, but it like really makes me laugh. And the idea of like the DJ or the person holding the aux cord being named Zachary and going by Zachary and not Zach, and like, I don't know, something about hey Zachary, play that song just like makes me laugh. I love it. I don't know.
Yeah, I love how specific they are. And somebody pointed out that he asks Zachary to put on a song that is cool but sad, which actually can describe Saturday Night, because the song is very funky and fun. It's like totally a dance track.
But he can't have fun on Saturday Night without you, is what he's saying.
Yes,
he can't have
the
fun.
whole thing is he can't dance on a Saturday night without you. And so somebody pointed out that him asking Zachary to put on a song that is cool but sad could actually just put a loop of Saturday Night on, because that is a song that is cool but sad.
And there's also, is it in Helium? I forget which song it's in specifically, but he name checks Judy Jetson as well and asks Judy Jetson to do something, which I think is great too.
Oh, really? I didn't pick that up. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to listen for it.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Because I heard it and I was like, oh my God, I love this. Like, Key, Bad Love, Helium lyrics? Who can I check? Yes, he says, Judy Jetson, take me up to space in the pre-chorus of Helium.
I love that. That's so funny.
I know. He's so clever and good.
He is really clever. Yeah, he's very clever, and he clearly thought a lot about this comeback. I mean, he's been planning it for 14 years, and everything about it is like so meticulous. I think he sounds amazing. Every single song is like perfect for his range and like the color of his voice. He sounds so good. There's the Taeyeon feature is on there as well, and the music video for Bad Love is really fun.
Ooh,
There's just like a space fashion show,
which I also wanted to point out because I just think it's neat of like Key finding a way to sort of, with little Easter eggs, like tie key things to shiny things. Like in his first album, he like straight up name checks shiny and stuff. But in this music video, similarly to Atlantis, all the costumes he's been wearing for the last 2 years are all behind him in one of the dressing room scenes. And in another dance scene, all of his dancers have his Don't Call Me red line. So we're bringing the universe together.
Yeah, I love that. And we noticed that there were some like visual similarities between the Hate That music video and the Don't Call Me music
The like
videos.
rock in the water part, right?
The rock in the water of him, like, which was like his like set or whatever. And also his main outfit in Bad Love is a full red suit, not a traditional suit, but it's like a full red like outfit. Fashion outfit, which I feel like looks like it would be part of the same collection as that red outfit he wears when he's standing on the rock in the water, or the debris on the water in Don't Call Me. So it definitely seems like there's a lot of really subtle calls
to just
things
keep
that
the universes all together.
He's a thoughtful artiste.
I know. And I love it. So please check out Key's album if you haven't yet, because I think you need it in your fall listening time.
Absolutely.
And then just one quick extra recommendation from today's episode. Do check out the new Lehigh album. It is very good. but also she has a song with my boy Crush that came out last year that's called For You, and I love it. So if you've never heard that,
Amazing.
check that one out.
Great.
Alrighty, that is it for this week's episode. Get your Idol Gossip book if you haven't. Enter the giveaway. There's just a couple more days if you're hearing this when it comes out to get in on the Idol Gossip giveaway.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you are a seasoned fan tier patron, please check your messages. We've extended our deadline on your most recent homework assignment, so you have about another week to send in your submissions. So check your inboxes and get those in by Monday at noon
Yes.
PST.
And a Patreon tease for anybody who is on Patreon or hasn't joined yet. I've been working very, very hard on a new stage outfit spotlight. You can probably guess what it was for. But if you can't, you're just going to have to join Patreon to find out. But there's a tease. Really fun stage outfit spotlight coming this month. Yes. So patreon.com/AMAKpop if you want to give us a little bit of money, and we'll give you extra episodes in return.
Yes, you will get a brand new episode every month, at least once a month. And as soon as you sign up, you'll have access to every other episode we've already released.
And there are like 13 or 14 of them now. So yeah, and you don't have to stay joined. Never any hard feelings. If you want to join for a month and watch them all and cancel, it's okay. Sometimes y'all apologize when you cancel. Don't worry about it. It's nice that you join it all. Don't say sorry to me. I love you anyway. But where we can be found otherwise is at AMA Kpop Pod in all the places. AMAKpoppod@gmail.com for emails. Linktree/AMA Kpop has all of our links, which will take you to our Discord where you can talk to other listeners, our YouTube channel where we have supplemental playlists, our Spotify where we have audio only supplemental playlists, our fan wiki where you can learn about episodes of the show. All kinds of
or
things.
easily look for a particular episode if you're trying to find something specific.
Yeah, we got all kinds of things. So come find us, come check us out. We'll be back next week as always with something fun. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Jonghyun, your inspiration.